Oh my god, you clicked on the video? Alright, well I don't entirely know what I'm titling this video yet, but it is true that I have no real objective here. Bottom line is you're going to join me here on a DZ exotic component farm, and we're just going to chat about stuff and the game. The thing with me is, I have a lot of good videos lined up that I want to make, or at least ideas that I have, you know, in the list that I want to make soon. But if I'm otherwise preoccupied or motivated by other things, I don't really feel like making those videos because I don't want the quality to be lessened at all, and I would hope that some of you could understand and appreciate that. Either way, we're going to be doing this today, and I'm interested to see the reception. I enjoy these types of things where we can just kind of generally chat, especially when streams have been a little bit absent for a while, as I'm sure some of you have realized. And to anyone who has sent messages inquiring about my lack of presence on the channel a little bit recently, the slower upload rate, and the lack of streams in July, I appreciate it. That's very kind of you. I am happy to report that everything is totally good, and it is all for reasons that are very beneficial for the channel, and I will be able to talk more about that soon. I'm going to do a big community post at the end of the month, but for now, we're doing this. So if you enjoyed the video, definitely do let me know down below if you enjoyed these types of more free-form, just chatting, discussion videos with some gameplay. I don't know what to title it, other than, like, chatting with RogueGold in the Dark Zone, which would get 0 views from anyone, so that's why I'm in a bit of a dilemma. So let me know, A, if you like it and you want to see more, and otherwise, why do I have a firing bug? There we go. And otherwise, what you think an appropriate name for these would be in the future. Maybe I title it off the events of something that happens. I don't know. Let me know. But let's chat about the game, shall we? There's been both a lot going on and not a lot going on. I think a lot of us are kind of waiting for the next big thing, which is Year 5 Season 2, of course. We're getting that in, what does the in-game timer say, 8 weeks? Yeah. They've done a lot of the point something patches. We had 18.1, 0.2, 0.3. They're addressing good things, for sure. But I feel like there's also a good amount that a lot of people are waiting on that are not being addressed by them, and so I'm curious to see if we're going to get some sort of centralized communication about that in the coming days or weeks here. But Year 5 Season 2 is on the horizon, and I am really, really looking forward to that. I mean, I've told you guys already in videos that, both because of things the devs have said and all that, I'm very excited for this new incursion. Personally, it's featuring my favorite faction. It's featuring a location that ties back to the lore that we've seen ever since the Division 1, and incursions are just awesome. And so I'm really, really excited for that, and to know that that's only weeks away is really exciting. Beyond that, of course, we also have the Year 5 Season 2 update as a whole. That's going to bring the usual season stuff, new weapons, exotics, gear, whatnot. Now, I always play this little prediction game in my head of what we might see, but since we're doing this video, why not talk about that? My prediction is that, you know, they always try and theme these new seasons around something. Think back to Season 9, that was all pulse-based. Season 11 was sniper-based. Right now, it's like a shock-based season. I think because the new incursion is featuring the cleaners, it's a fair guess to say that the new gear and stuff in Season 2 will be fire-themed. Could be totally wrong, could be something else, but that would make a lot of sense, and I have a decent feeling that that could turn out to be true. Some people then might say, well, the new gear set should be the return of Firecrest from the Division 1. Anything's possible. But whether or not it is, you know, I have a feeling that, yeah, the gear set will probably get maybe a new talent around fire, although we already have Ignited, so we'll see. But the biggest thing for me is always the exotics. What new exotics are we going to get? I don't know if they'll necessarily be fire-themed. I mean, they could be. Sometimes the exotics stray from the overall season theme. But I'll tell you what I'm really hoping we get is a new exotic SMG. Before this season, my highest wishlist item there was an AR because it had been so long since we got one, but now that we have the St. Elmo's and it's pretty darn cool, I think next on the list is SMGs because, correct me if I'm wrong, we've not had a new SMG since September of 2020 when we got the backfire. So it has been 3 years since we had a new exotic SMG, unless I'm just forgetting one and being dumb, but I'm pretty sure that was the last one. I'm sure they don't fit everyone's playstyle, but I really love SMGs, so yeah, I'm hoping that is the new weapon that we get. And as far as the gear, I mean, that could always go in any direction, though. I was trying to think of the ones that we have the least amount in, because sometimes I feel like they try and fill it out to where it's a pretty equal amount. Gloves, we only have 2, right? We have the BTSU gloves and the Bloody Knuckles, but the Bloody Knuckles did just come in Season 10, which wasn't too long ago. I feel like the most likely options for new gear are either going to be gloves or a new chest piece, because the only 2 chest pieces we have, exotic ones, are the tardigrade and the Rejoice Pride, which also came in September of 2020 in TU11. So if they wanted to do a chess piece SMG combo, that would remedy the big gap that we've had for so long now. So I'm very excited to learn what those will be, and I'm sure we'll hear more about the PTS in the coming weeks here, given, like it says in the in-game calendar, the update's only 8 weeks out. And I believe when Season 1 started, the timer went longer than 12 weeks, which is the standard duration of a season. I don't know if they built that in because they knew they would need a little bit longer to get Season 2 live. I don't know if they wanted to give themselves a buffer in case they needed to delay or have other updates or whatnot. I think there's a chance it could come 1 or 2 weeks sooner if they want to update that, pretty soon here just to give people a heads up. But either way, 8 weeks is probably the maximum we're going to have to wait, and so that's pretty exciting. Then, beyond that, I really feel compelled to make more videos about the Descent comms that we're getting, even though I already did one, but I'm trying to hold myself back because we don't have all of them yet. I think we're at 7 or 8 out of 12 now. So there's still more to go, and it's really probably pointless to keep making videos on it when we don't have the full picture of what those are going to be. But man, they're super interesting. If you have not done them, of course, I talked about them in that previous video. I'll try and link it up above, but spoilers if you've not collected them, they're really cool. And the more recent one talks more about Anna, who of course we first were introduced to back in Warlords when we took Keener's Watch. And it just continues to make me hope that one day down the line we get the option to use Anna as our AI. Whether that is in the Division 2, whether that's not until a Division 3 if that were to happen, I don't know. But I hope it does happen, because it would just, it's funny to think of how little gameplay impact that would really have to have a different AI voice talking. But given how prevalent Isaac has been since 2016 when we started playing this franchise, imagine how weird it would be just to run around and have a different AI telling you what to do. And she's got way more personality, so I feel like it would be a bit more engaging and fun, which is what they talk about in the comms, that Isaac is super binary in his morality and decision-making, whereas Anna has a lot more nuance. So that'd be really cool. Additionally, I'm telling you, man, every chance they get, they are continuing to remind us how, chronologically and in the timeline, we're approaching winter. Winter this, winter that, stock up on food for the winter, get ready for the winter. And I'm telling you, and they've been doing it since Season 9. We talked about it before, how even in the countdown comms, they were talking about winter approaching. Now, I will say this. I understand that it would be hard to transition the game to winter. They've talked before about how it's not just the world you have to take into consideration, but the clothing effects, having the snow build up on the clothing is something that they would likely want to do for the sake of, realism and everything else that they already do in the game for that attention to detail. So I just don't see in my head how it makes sense. If their plan is, if it's too difficult to transition the game to winter, totally get that. It's all good. But then why you gotta tease us so much about it? You know what I mean? And so I feel like because they keep on talking about it, I'm becoming more and more convinced that there is a good chance that this upcoming Year 5 Season 4 DLC that we know is taking place in Brooklyn could be set in the winter. I feel like it's also very likely that they could do that and still leave DC and the other New York map in the summer, because obviously that would be an easier workload for them to handle. But I don't know, man, between how popular it would be for it to be during the winter and for how much they've continued to tease it, I just think it's gotta happen. And I'm telling you right now, if they do a DLC where it's set in the winter, we get to use Anna as a new AI, that alone is going to sell copies. People care about that stuff. That would be a cool refresh to the Division 2 experience that we know, on top of getting new open world zones, new main missions, all that stuff. So who knows, we're still a super long ways out from that. But again, because of all the talk from these Descent comms lately, it's just made me more and more anxious for it. I'm really excited for us to get later into the year when we're going to hear more about how they plan to deliver that, what sort of setting it's going to be in, what sort of new endgame systems they're going to introduce. We know they're doing Seasons 2.0 and a kind of endgame redesign, so that's all going to be really cool. But yeah, on top of that, like I said, bit of a slower period right now while we're waiting for the Year 5 Season 2 PTS to come around. Of course, Division Heartland had its open beta, or not open beta, the closed beta, start back on June 27th. I don't think they ever gave an end date, so who knows what the status of that is. But yeah, there's things happening in the Division universe soon, TM. And, there's some people still convinced that Heartland isn't coming till 2025. I think that's kind of silly, considering that they're already now in the beta phase. But we will see. And I think in the next few months here, we know we're getting Resurgence. We know we're getting Year 5 Season 2, then Season 3. Maybe Heartland slipping in there too. There's a lot of stuff on the way. You're going to take my drop? Fat chance they actually weren't. There were 2 of them. Guys, that's so awkward. That's, hey, listen. It was a misinput. A complete misinput. You have to understand. You have to understand. I really did not mean to press that. I thought I was pressing the emote button. I was trying to say hello to you guys. I really was. Also, never use a shield in PvP. That's a hot tip. Because when you destroy it, you get that mad disorientation effect. And nobody wants that. Listen, I didn't want to have to put you down. If you just stopped shooting, I would have stopped shooting you. I thought you were going for my drop. I really did. So, I'm sorry it had to end that way. I really am. Did they... Wait, where is the drop? Did they actually take... Oh, the other dude... Alright, well then it was warranted. I didn't mean to kill you. But look, I'm a nice guy. I'll leave the gear. I don't need the gear. I just like the PvP. Plus, I did want that drop. So, you know, it was deserved for that. See, these things, these more dynamic DZ videos are fun. So, again, if you guys like these and you want more in the future, let me know. Also, let me know what on earth I should title them, because I have no idea what to title them. But yeah, this has been fun just sitting and chatting. Again, I know the channel has been a bit slower lately. That's for a very good reason. I'll explain more in the coming weeks. Closer to the end of the month, you'll get a good picture of what's been going on. And yeah, more exciting stuff to come. So if you enjoyed, be sure to click that subscribe button so you get notified for all my future Division 2 and Division stuff in general. Lots of exciting stuff coming in the coming weeks, months, later into the year. And that's going to do it for me today, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next one. RogueGold. Out.